This is an overview of the persuasive draft, which is due in week 5. This week, we are going to take all of the notes and plans and the sources that we've gathered in weeks 1 through 4 and draft our final essay. You'll see that there are instructions that are somewhat detailed, but I wanted to share with you a few thoughts on each of the sections. Basically, the essay has 5 sections: an introduction, 3 body sections, and a conclusion. Let's start with the introduction. You should begin with something that engages the reader, if possible, a hook, bring them in. But most important is to clearly explain what your topic and your argument is. The introduction should end with a thesis statement, and your thesis statement should really be very clear in terms of having the position, the argument, and 3 key points. You see here a formula for the thesis statement: the topic, which is school uniforms, opinion should be required, and 3 reasons why. Because parents will spend less money, students will have an easier time deciding what to wear, and students will endure less bullying over fashions. So with that in mind, you take that formula, and that's quite simplistic, and break it down to build your body paragraphs. Your body paragraphs should each focus on one of the 3 main points or key points. Ideally, it should go in the same order that you have stated them in the thesis statement. So key point A is the body paragraph 1, and key point B, body paragraph 2. Each body paragraph should start with a topic sentence that basically announces or tells the key point that is going to be explored. From there, you might want to bring in some of your resource, some of your evidence. If you'll notice, we have a click here for the PI method, and that is the first thing is state the point you'll be making. Point. Information is the evidence. Information refers to the information that you've gathered from your research. And finally, the explanation. And the explanation really should be the major part of the paragraph. It should be your response, perspective, and interpretation of how this source supports your key point. So that's really important. So once you've gone through those 3 key points in your body conclusion, you'll move to the conclusion. In the conclusion, you want to review your argument. The thesis should really be repeated in some form in the conclusion. You should also highlight one of the areas and perhaps even reference some of the research that you shared to make that point. And then finally, add some insight or perspective. A conclusion should never bring new information, but it should add some perspective to the argument overall. So with that in mind, you want to remember that you also kind of want to have a call to action. In other words, remind the reader how important what your argument is. So with that in mind, that should help you with the draft. Just another word, the guidelines include saving it as a Word document, double spacing, 12-point type. Notice it does not note the page count in the draft. It's important to remember that the final paper will be a minimum of 5 pages, and that does not include a cover page or the reference page. So you really want to kind of go for at least 5 pages in your draft. So if we take a quick look at the critical elements, the rubric, the overview introduction. So again, I'm looking for, do you clearly state what the topic is about and the main points? Is there a recognizable thesis in the introduction? It should be a very formula-based sentence that captures the argument and points. And then in the body, we're looking at, do you identify the key point? Do you combine thoughts and ideas with evidence. In other words, is there research and do you engage in it? There should be at least one paragraph where you're addressing an opposing view. You might do it in every paragraph, or you might do it in just one. And then the conclusion asks, have you reviewed and summarized the key points? You can do that by bringing your thesis back in and then adding insight. That's it. I hope it helps. I look forward to seeing all of your drafts. And if you need help, contact me. Take care.